If you'd like to read this particular article, you can do so at justinstellman.com/A7. My pledge to you. The other day, Kate and I were driving to the health food store, and during the drive, she asked me what my plans were for this new website. It's funny when people ask you questions that sort of catch you off guard. Some people would cringe inside because they don't really know what their plan is when they embark on a new creative project. But I was happy she asked because that I know exactly what my plan is for this website. And it's not really what you think. It's not to make money. It's not even to leave a legacy for my children to read one day. It's much bigger than that. And I may be biting off a little bit more than I can chew, but my plan is prolific. One time somebody asked David Wolf how long he wanted to live. And I was expecting him to say 150 or 200, but he went on and on about goal setting. And then he finally said out loud that his goal was to live to 3,000 years old. And apparently he has a lot of work to do here on planet Earth. If you reach for the stars, maybe you'll hit the moon, assuming, of course, we don't live on a flat Earth. So if you don't see your goals coming to fruition, then why even start having them? There's just no point. Your goals should be so lofty that to the average mind they seem ridiculous. People should hear you speak of your goals and think you're completely out to lunch. And that's the whole point. Average people have a whole lot of average oozing out of their pores. But people who are determined to make a big difference in the world have lofty goals. That's almost maniacal. They're almost maniacal in achieving them. They're singularly focused on that one task until it actually becomes a reality. So when Kate asked me that question, I was hesitant to actually speak out loud what my plans were. We have this pretty amazing relationship, actually, so I wasn't that shy about it. Okay, maybe I was a little bit. But many people have very lofty goals, but they don't tell anybody about them. If they stated what their goals were out loud, people would probably just laugh at them. So if you have goals, you must have the courage to speak them out loud in public where everyone can hear. Today, that means you can share your plans on social media, emails, or any other way you can think of. But have the courage to say it out loud to people. So here's what I said to Kate. My plan with this website is to help raise global consciousness by eradicating fear and embracing love. It sounds totally cheesy, but that's what I want to do. There's lots of work to do. People all around the world are being scared to death by their governments. They make decisions that cause them a ton of grief and harm. They feel more and more disenchanted with life and disconnected from their fellow man. I feel like the work that I do here can help people have a shift in perspective. And sometimes that's all it takes. One small shift in ideas can actually just change everything. As long as people continue jumping from lily pad to lily pad, eventually all of their ideas will take on a fresh new perspective. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you're on the path. You've joined the millions of others around the world who read this blog who are also wanting to make a world a better place. So as for this website, I have no desire to write short little articles that don't dive deep into complex subjects. We have enough bite-sized viral media sources in the world today. I want my work to live on for generations into the future, even thousands of years perhaps. I want people who live 3,000 years from now, who knows, maybe David Wolf will stumble upon this article when he's 2,900 years old, to read this content on the site and get tremendous value from it. I want to be a catalyst for helping raise the vibration and awareness of the entire planet. I want people to live better lives as a result of reading the content on this website. I want people to take positive action in their lives because they found something on this website that was helpful. We've already been getting emails from people who have said the content here has changed their lives. People have changed their health, stopped eating certain foods, quit their jobs, and even ended relationships. All because of this work. I can believe it because I've envisioned it. I've set that as an intention. I know I wasn't able to help all 7 billion people on this earth, but I'd like to try. So if you shoot for the stars, maybe you'll hit the moon. There are many websites out there that write about similar topics, but what you'll find here is 100% unique, raw, and unfiltered because it's coming from my own personal growth lessons. And as for me, I've always been interested in personal development and human potential since I was just a child. When I was in high school, I often wondered, for example, what made Michael Jordan so great? There are other players in the NBA who can run faster and jump higher. Many other players are quicker, better at ball handling, and even shooting. So what gives? Why is he so great? Is it because of his work ethic on top of his God-given talent? Well, partly. Is it because he believes he's great? Maybe. But lots of players believe they're the greatest of all time. So what separated Michael Jordan from the rest was his mindset. He had a will and determination that was coupled with his relentless work ethic that simply couldn't be matched. But the icing on the cake was that he took risks. He was willing to risk it all. He risked his own body to injury. He risked potential million-dollar contracts. He risked being traded. He risked his reputation. He risked camaraderie with his own teammates. He was willing to cash in all his chips so that he can have a chance at taking that jackpot. It takes a lot of guts to risk that much simply to be great. So what am I risking? Well, I'm risking my reputation and my marriage and my livelihood. I'm risking my own life in the sense that I'm willing to go through whatever I need to go through in order to glean insights for you. I realize I'm not writing for computers, Google, or some bot out there. I'm writing to you who are reading this right now. One of the things I just love about personal growth is that you have to live it before you can write about it. At least that's my ethic. You can tell pretty quickly if what you're reading is authentic or not. There's a motto out there that says, "Those who can't do, teach." And I see so much of that out there, it makes me sick. Because to do requires a hell of a lot. It requires going deep in your own life. It requires questioning long-held family beliefs and potentially walking away from them and letting other people know that. It requires ending that relationship you know is wrong. Going deep requires you to face the very things in your life you avoid like the plague, your deepest, darkest fears. Going deep also requires us to hold no attachments, take no positions, and most importantly, admitting when you're wrong. If you ever catch me on this website not being inauthentic, please let me know. This is a big goal for me. It's going to require a lot and force me to keep learning and growing. Because to whom much is given, much is required. Just the way it is. I don't intend on being a guru or a sage. I don't have it all figured out. I never have and I never will. That's the beauty of being human. You get to grow constantly and learn. I shall call it like I see it, and if I call it wrong, then I'll admit it. There will be no pride, no ego, zero attachments to all my beliefs. Some articles might be angry, some articles might be sad, some articles will be inspirational, while others might leave you feeling a bit down. But these are all sides of our human complex and our nature, and it serves nobody to make people think you're always happy. The world has enough gurus. There are enough people out there who act like they have all the answers. I think we have enough of that in our culture. If you want that, you might want to read other websites. You won't find that here. You'll find a guy who's completely 100% authentic and raw, who's willing to share his unique perspectives on many different topics. And I don't claim to be right. What I will do is offer perspective. I'll offer insights that are unique that will help you process ideas and information more clearly. Because there are so many people out there who want to be gurus, they also have something to sell. They're selling their ideas, their books, their programs, their products, and everything in between. To me, that's not what I'm about. My first priority is helping you. I offer my best ideas 100% for free. I don't sell anything on this website. There are links to products that other people sell, and if you purchase those products, I might make a small commission, but you don't have to buy them. You don't need anything to be happy, healthy, and fulfilled. That must come from within you. And I can't do that for you. Happiness ultimately is a skill that must be cultivated. It's a means, not an end. Everything on this website is 100% free. I'm not giving away 50% of my best work and then coercing you into buying the rest of it. I've seen other people do that, and I just really don't want anything to do with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I do agree that you get what you pay for, but that's not what I'm about here. You will get access to what's really going on in my life, and if you decide to buy something that helps me, then great, but it's not required to get any of this information. If this website got 0 visitors and nobody ever read what I had to say, that's okay. Because part of the reason I'm doing this is selfish. I want to share my growth experiences, even if nobody ever reads it. And if my kids are the only people that ever read this, then that's okay too. You have to do something because you love it, not because of the impact it might have, even though the desire to have a positive impact is better than just doing it for money or fame. So yes, I want to have an impact, but I'm not going to let that blind my vision for my own personal growth. Selfishly, my personal goal with this website is to remain consistent in my writing and become better at sharing ideas. I also want to grow and learn as much as I possibly can. I guess you could think of it as me using you to help me produce content that will help you. When you're in this kind of journey where every single day you're learning something new and new ideas are going through your mind and you're going through deep life situations, you have to share. Otherwise, it gets lost into the ether and nobody really benefits. So I guess it's just an outgrowth of learning, growing, and expanding. When you learn new information, you feel like you have to share it regardless if people pay attention to it or not. It's overflowing out of your pores and you have to disperse that energy. You have no choice. When you're excited about ideas and experiences, you just have to share what you've learned. That's what this site is all about. So yes, selfishly, I want to improve my writing skills. I want to grow and expand my awareness. But lastly, I want to have a tremendous impact on raising the collective consciousness of this planet. And if I earn a few dollars along the way, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. A lot of people give up literally and figuratively. They let themselves go. They stop reading books. They stop putting themselves in uncomfortable situations because it makes them nervous. They stop exposing themselves to information from all sides of a situation. Their passion for life just goes away. It gets beat down by bills, mortgage payments, and retirement plans. I don't judge them for that, but that's the reality. I've never been a person who seeks the comfort of the mundane and the ordinary. Where's the fun in that? You might call me an idea junkie. It's my passion to learn and grow on every level. I love challenging even my own preconceived ideas about all kinds of topics. It's just who I am. It's ingrained in the very fiber of my DNA. I can't get the 3-bedroom house with the white picket fence and have 2.5 kids. That's just not me. The American dream is and has always been a complete sham. I see my own friends throw away the very essence of who they are in order to attain those types of things. And haven't you seen that? I'm lucky to have a keen ability to watch people I know make tons of what some people call mistakes. I just call them decisions I'd rather avoid. In my opinion, you're either motivated by inspiration or desperation. If you can combine the two, it's even better. You might be motivated to change your diet because you're afraid of getting cancer. Or you might change your diet because you want to see just how healthy you can get. The former is desperation, the latter is inspiration. I've learned a lot by watching people make poor decisions out of desperation. I continue to learn every day from both the positive and the negative. So, I invite you to learn and grow as a result of inspiration. The desire will last longer than if your motivation is from desperation, because once your situation changes for the better, the desperation goes away along with the desire to grow. So constantly do what you can to remain inspired. My goal is to coalesce complex ideas into digestible articles that will help you grow. I'll grow as a result of writing them as well, so it's kind of fun. It's like a two-way street where we both benefit. So my pledge to you is to serve you in the most honest and authentic way I can, with no bullshit and no fluff. I've read so many self-help books over the years, and now they just make me gag. They're just not real. The people writing them obviously have an agenda, and that agenda is to make you believe they've got it all figured out. They've discovered the Holy Grail. It'll only cost you a one-time fee of $77. That's bullshit. They don't have it figured out, because if they did, they wouldn't have to sell it for $77. I'm really looking forward to the journey we both get to embark upon together. It's incredibly enriching when you discover new parts of yourself that you never knew existed. When you break through barriers of fear that have plagued you your whole life, there's no way around it. It's really empowering. The next logical question to ask yourself is, what else is possible? And as a mutual journeyer, I'll be on the same path as you. It's a path of self-discovery, letting go of attachments, releasing old emotions and friends that no longer serve us, and it's a path that many people choose not to follow. There are only small amounts of people in the world that are not just willing to embark on a hero's journey like this, but even fewer who decide to change as a result. So here's a little bit of my story. In 2002, I had roughly saved up $30,000 and decided to spend it all on traveling the world for a year. I debated about buying a house with that money, but I opted to go on a journey of self-discovery instead. I traveled to new lands all by myself, met some of the most interesting and amazing people on the planet, and read a ton of books along the way. A few years before I went, I dreamt about this with a friend of mine. We talked about going together and what places we'd visit. After that talk with him, I decided to save money for 2 years and just make it happen. Needless to say, he didn't join me. It was actually for the better because I grew up a lot on that trip, even though I was 25 years old when I left. I explored ancient ruins and the inward depths of my soul. Being alone in foreign lands for months on end is something you can really only fully understand if you've been there by yourself. It was my version of a hero's journey. I had to do it. It was a calling and I had to go. Even if terrorists blew up the buildings at 9/11. At the time, I believed that, but now I don't. Having believed what I did and choosing to leave anyway made me stronger as a result. So what I'm inviting you to do here is an intellectual version of that same hero's journey. I invite you to become the best version of yourself and explore ideas and topics you at one time thought were taboo. Whether you set out on a plane to travel the world for a year or read websites like this, ultimately the effect upon us all is the same. The books may change, the people definitely do, as well as the destinations, but we don't. We are there to witness it all. It's one hell of a journey, and this thing we call life, isn't it? And I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're on board. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's enjoy the ride, shall we? If you'd like to read this particular article, you can do so and check out all the links and pictures within it at